Folks, you know what time it is. It's 7 o'clock here on Monday, which means it's time for another new episode of Monday Night Nerd. Welcome, one and all. I appreciate you spending some of your Monday with me. Tonight, we got a really fun episode because a bunch of stuff just leaked dropped about the new Grand Theft Auto 6 video game. We're going to talk about that and my whole history with the Grand Theft Auto series because I have been a fan all the way back since Grand Theft Auto 3 and I've played every single one going up until the new one. So we're going to talk about that, and we got a whole bunch of news to talk about, folks. I first just want to say this is really cool. This is a really big episode for me, not just because I'm a big GTA fan, but this is episode 150 of the podcast. We have been doing this podcast here on YouTube and now here on TikTok for 150 episodes. I remember not too long ago doing episode 1 and not being sure what I was doing, not being sure what this was going to become, and to know that I've sat here and done this 150 times, and some of you have been here from the beginning, some of you are brand new, I really appreciate it. Like, seriously, you could be doing so much more fun stuff with your Monday night than sitting here and listening to me blab on night after night about topics that I'm interested in and things that have happened to me. But the fact that I've been doing this for 150 episodes and you still stick around, it means a lot to me, so appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and hopefully we'll be around for another 150 more, who knows. Trying to think of what else I wanted to quickly talk about before we jumped into the news. I don't think there's much, so in that case, let's just jump into the news. Live from the multiverse, it's Monday Night News! Folks, we have some breaking news. Well, I shouldn't say breaking news. Some important news that have come out over the past couple days, including specifically something that's happening tomorrow. I haven't been able to really talk about it because I wasn't sure if we were supposed to talk about it. However, they did put a video on their social media, so I guess I can talk about it here. Tomorrow night, I will not be here. I will be just down the road, about 45 minutes from here in the greater Toronto, in Toronto downtown, actually, and I will be at the Supergirl premiere. I am super excited to see Supergirl. If you've ever watched the show, if you've ever talked to me about comic book movies, I have been a giant fan of the last Superman movie. It was an incredible movie. I loved it for so many different reasons. It's one of the few comic book movies that hit me really, really hard, hit my emotional core, and it just means so much to me. And now I get the privilege of going to see Supergirl before almost anyone else. I just went to the barber and got my hair done. That's because I'm going to be dressing up as Superboy at the premiere. The great people at Toronto Game Expo and Warner Brothers had reached out to them, which they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be a part of this, and I jumped at it. So yeah, I'm going to be at the premiere, and I'm stoked. Like, seriously, when I went to the Mortal Kombat one, I was a big fan. I'm always a big fan of Johnny Cage. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, but this one feels like it's going to be a little different. So I'm excited for it. There will be a whole bunch of videos and photos and stuff coming from it over the next few days and the next few weeks. So hopefully I'll be posting those over the next little while. When it comes to other news, specifically comic book news, if you're a fan of the X-Men 97 series, you may have seen that the X-Men 97 series will be coming out soon, and season 2 episode names were dropped. And they kind of gave like a little one-line synopsis of what the episode is. If you haven't seen any of the trailers or anything, I'm going to spoil the trailer. What they're basically doing is all the X-Men are now in different time periods, so we're going to be visiting different eras of X-Men, which is really cool because I can't wait to see what they're going to do with some of them. And specifically, you will be having in episode 8, there is an episode titled Weapon X, Lies, and DVDs. Now, if you're a movie fan, you know that there is a movie specifically called Sex, Lies, and Videotapes. This is a very fun parody of it, which means we're probably going to get somebody who loves parodies and making fun of things. And in the synopsis, it says Wolverine and Morph an unlikely group of former rivals face the latest Weapon X experiment. So you can just guess that new Weapon X experiment is probably a young Wade Wilson who is just coming out of whatever they're going to specifically do to him in the comics. I don't think it's going to be exactly like they did in Deadpool, but he will be the merc with the mouth, and he will be cutting a whole bunch of one-liners. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the voice, because over the years, they've had many different voices for him. I don't think it's going to be Ryan Reynolds, because there hasn't been any press that Ryan's going to be in it, but I am interested to see where they're going to go with this. Other than that, it's kind of been a very slow news week, which is not always bad. I mean, sometimes I do try and find a whole bunch of little things to try and fill this segment up, but honestly, there was nothing that really jumped out at me. Usually, again, if you've ever watched the show, we usually talk about things that I'm watching and things that I am playing. Right now, I'm still just playing through Horizon Zero Dawn, which I'm absolutely loving. It's something that's actually kind of shocked me a little bit, and I'm going to talk to my buddy Noah about it, Freakish Workshop, because he's a big fan of the series as well, and I've played both of them before, and going back to one, I honestly felt like this was going to be a very quick retread. Like, I would be, okay, I know this happens, I know this happens, I know this happens, and we're done. I am playing through this, and there are tons of story parts that I totally forgot about. And I guess I just have number 2 so stuck in my head that I forgot a lot of what happened in 1. But I am absolutely loving it, because it's almost like I'm replaying a brand new game. But I'm loving that, and that's kind of about it. I know I have to finish Spider Noir, and hopefully I'll be finishing that this week. But I'm just telling you, every time I get some free time, I'm just wanting to pull that bow out and play some Horizon. Comic-Con news. YetiCon was this last weekend. I was not there. It looked like a whole lot of fun, though. It looks like the Geeks & Co. did an amazing job. They were shooting videos, and I bet they got a bunch of stuff coming up on the new podcast episode on Thursday. It looks like they had a gala for different superheroes where they all dressed up. They looked amazing. Everyone looked like they were having a lot of fun. So maybe next year we'll add that to the list. I know next year we're definitely going to be moving some cons around than the traditional lineup, because, well, I want to try some of these new cons. I've had actually a couple reach out to me recently, and because I've had such a stacked schedule, I'm not really wanting to add anything to the lineup. I kind of want to have this little bit of a break during the summer so I can spend time with family and my wife and everyone else. So I think next year we're going to move some conventions around, and maybe we'll add some new ones to the list. If you're going to Fan Expo Canada in Toronto in August, I am super excited because I'm a wrestling fan. I'm also a comic book fan, and John Cena was announced for Fan Expo Canada. Yeah, this is one that I kind of expected to happen. If you know the way that Fan Expo kind of books, if you don't, actually, I should explain. They kind of book them almost like a tour. So, like, if they do one, they'll probably do other ones in their loop. So Fan Expo Canada is one of about 12 I think they own. So if you get one at one, you're probably going to get them throughout the rest of them, at maybe not the same year, but maybe down the road. So John Cena's kind of hit most of the US ones, so I knew Canada would be not far behind. I'm excited. I probably will not be getting an autograph or a photo op or anything with him due to many different reasons. Cost is a big one, because it's like $200 for an autograph. I think photo ops over $200. He's got a special package where it's like $1,000 and you get front row to his Q&A and a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't really want to drop that much money. I'm already dropping a whole ton on a hotel and building cosplays. So I'm excited he's there. I hope everyone gets to meet him, and if you can't see him, it'll be a lot of fun, and I know he's going to pull in a big crowd. But as a longtime wrestling fan, I've met all my heroes so far, and while I would love to meet John, he is not high enough on that list to be dropping that much money. We have Pretty Nerdy Crystal, and we have Alex in chat. I'll go with you next year. I assume that means for YetiCon. You know what? You are not the only one who said that. I've had a couple people tell me that maybe next year they'll add that to the list. So we might, maybe we'll invade YetiCon and we'll see what happens when we get up there. And Alex said, you can't see him. Yeah, you know what? I probably can't see him because he's going to be surrounded by people just wanting to meet him. That's kind of it for the news. Like I said, it's kind of been a short and not really newsworthy week. We kind of had so much with the video games a couple weeks ago that this has kind of been a nice condensed week with not a lot of news. If you're here and it's Monday night and you're live, or if you're watching this later, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and all you folks on TikTok, if you can hit that follow button. We do this every single Monday night, 7 o'clock, and we talk about nerdy things. We talk about movies, we talk about cosplay, music, video games, wrestling, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 and 5 and everything that's come before it, because I've just been such a big fan of this series. As we do here every single week here on the podcast, we have a sponsor, and that sponsor is my beautiful, loving, amazing, incredible wife. She is always my sponsor here because I'm a better person with her in my life. Overall, I just feel like I'm a better person. Like, I've said it for 150 episodes now. It's kind of hard to not just sound like you're repeating yourself, and I'm not doing it just to suck up. Seriously, I'm a better person with her in my life. I have a great life with her because half of it is her and half of it is me. We have some amazing animals downstairs that I absolutely love. One of them's Gotcha Day was yesterday, so we had a great celebration about that. But yeah, hun, you will always be my sponsor. You know that. 150 episodes, you know that by now. Folks, that was a short news. It's funny because like 2 weeks ago, it was just all news. So it is a very short news day today, so we're going to jump right into the main event. It's time for the main event. We are here. It is Monday. We are going to be talking all about Grand Theft Auto. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, because, like I said before, I have been a fan of this series for decades. I started when I first rented GTA 3. And I was a fan then. I was hooked by the series, and then I have played every single one since then. It is one of the few series that I have consistently played the whole way through, and it's a series that I have pretty sure every one of the strategy guides as well. It was kind of, I would always pick it up opening day, first day it came out, and then I would pick up the strategy guide as well. Unfortunately, those strategy guides don't exist anymore, so I will not be getting the GTA 6 one. Also, if you're living under a rock, GTA 6 is announced to come out in October, and a lot of people are asking my opinion of it and what I excited for it because they know I'm a GTA fan. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, like I said, my history of it and things that I've loved about it. The one thing that I do find very funny is that once they announced that GTA would be coming out in October, a lot of the other games that were coming up all announced for September. So if you're a video game fan, September 2026 is going to be a huge month for you because it seems like every AAA, AA, single A game is just gonna all drop in the exact same month because they want to get out before GTA comes out, because they know once GTA 6 comes out, everyone is going to be playing that. So they're hoping that if they can get them out now, maybe they'll keep them from getting GTA 6. I highly doubt it. If you're interested in GTA 6, I believe pre-orders go on sale in the next 2 days. Which is really good that it's in the next 2 days and not tomorrow, because it seems like everybody's on sale tomorrow because Amazon Prime Day is tomorrow. So I'm glad they're not doing everything on the same day, because I think the internet would just explode if everything went on sale at the same time. So let's, usually with my Comic-Con episodes, I kind of talk about every single day, kind of go beat by beat. We're kind of going to do a similar format like that tonight. We're going to talk kind of game by game. I'm going to not really talk about the game in particular, because you all have played the game. You all have probably history in every single one of them. Alex says, I only played 4 and 5, need to try the others. And that is cool. I know that is one of the things I'm going to talk about, is that when I first started with GTA 3, I knew nothing of it. I first started with a rental. I went to my local video store just to rent a video game. And when I was just walking down the aisles, I saw this cover that was red and black and had this mafia style thing to it. And I had grown up a big movie fan. I still am a movie fan. And there was a lot of mafia movies that I watched. I watched Godfather, I watched Goodfellas and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, maybe this is something about that. I didn't have a PlayStation 1 growing up, so I didn't have access to GTA 1 and 2 or London. So this was completely new to me. I was young enough and the internet was not as big at the time that you weren't just inundated with social media posts of this new game is out and everybody has to know everything about it. So it was kind of nice being like that back then. I'm not going to sit here and say today's terrible, back then was great, because it's not. But it was kind of cool going in there and just you kind of scan the wall of like, what is here? What box art catches my attention? And this did. I looked at the back, and if you've ever seen the case for GTA 3, it's not very detailed. Like, you can tell from a lot of games what the game is and what the play style is. And it kind of, I don't want to say it spoils it, but it gives you an idea of what the game is going to be. GTA 3, there's not a lot. Like, you see a couple shots of, I believe there's the main protagonist who's nameless, in the street, and you kind of see, the scenery of the rain coming down and what is their version of New York City and Liberty City. And I was like, that's kind of cool. That looks like it'll be fun. So I rented it. I don't think I was 18 at the time, so, video game store. I'd gone to that video game store so many times, that video store, I should say. They knew me by name at that point. So I had rented so many things from them that they're just like, yeah, cool, you can take it. Got home, put it in my PlayStation 2, and just the opening song is just grabbed me as this is different. And we're going to talk about, that's going to be a continuing theme through a couple of these games, is the music. Because back when GTA 3 came out, it was not like today. It was not specifically like San Andreas, where it was so much licensed music. There was some, but not a ton in this. And just that opening, slow, kind of jazzy opening song just kind of went, okay, this is interesting. And you started, and it didn't put you in a menu. It didn't kind of be like, do you want to play on easy? Do you want to play on hard? Let's go to the settings. You press start, and it just put you in the game, and the opening cutscene happened. And it just threw you right in the world. It showed you what was happening. You were on a bridge with your buddy, and you just broke out of a transport truck taking you from prison to prison, and now you're on your own, and you just start. And I was like, what is going on? This is not a game. This is not the type of game I had played before. But it hooked me. It completely hooked me. And then you start that mission, and you just start driving. You got to go to your first house where you kind of can lay low. And then it just kind of lets you, it sort of takes your hands off the reins and goes, what do you want to do? That's not something that happened back in the day for video games. And I think that's something that a lot of people nowadays are accustomed to with games we talked about before, like Horizon, Grand Theft Auto is a good one, Mafia, all these third-person games that you can just kind of explore the world. Batman's another good one, of Arkham City. You just kind of, what do you want to do? Do you want to go and fight crime? Do you want to go break into this building? Do you want to steal a car? Do you want... This was game changing for me, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what the next thing was. I had a little marker on my map telling me where it was, but it was still okay. So I started doing some more missions, and I just fell in love. I fell in love with the atmosphere, Liberty City being like a dark mafioso, New York City. And like I said, growing up with the Goodfellas movies, Godfather, Casino, I'm like, this is so cool. I am so excited about this game. And I went to school and I was okay, everyone gather around. I'm going to blow your minds. There's this game called Grand Theft Auto that is going to just, you're not going to believe it. You're open world. You get to do whatever, you get to steal cars, you get to kill people, you get to, do whatever you feel like. And no one cared. No one cared. I was shocked by that response. I was like, wait, what? Wait, I just told you there is a game out there where you can go and do all these crazy things, and no one cared. What? Everyone was so intrigued with games like Ratchet and Clank and Spy Cooper and all these things, and I was like, yeah, but this is freedom. And they're like, yeah, but I kind of like the characters, and I'm just like, huh, okay. So I just sat back and enjoyed GTA 3 just on my own. I didn't have anybody to talk to about it because no one cared. We didn't have the internet like this where we could just go online and talk about how great something is. And then they announced Vice City. Now, this is where it caught my interest because I liked GTA 3 because of the mafia side of it. I thought that was a cool idea. But now we're going into 80s Miami. Not just because, you get the Scarface references and stuff, but the music. I grew up an 80s kid. I grew up with 80s music. So this was my wheelhouse. This was a game that as soon as I saw a trailer for it, as soon as I saw the artwork for it, the pink, the neon, sold, take my money. And I remember telling my mom, I said, I need to get this game. She knew I played GTA 3 and she was fine with it. Like I said, I was still under 18, but my mom was smart enough. Like, he gets it. He's not going to go crazy playing these games. And we're going to talk about that later. And we went, and I told her, I said, okay, I got to pre-order it just to be safe. I'm going to pre-order this game. Don't want to get there and they be sold out. Mom put a pre-order down. We went up to the mall the day it released. My mom was ready to get me the game. And we walk into the mall. And there is a lineup out of Electronics Boutique down the hall to get this game. And I went, oh, everyone's figured out that this is a fun game. I get it now. So we wait in line. My pre-order's ready to go. I pick it up. And by the way, this is on a Thursday because all the game releases back then were Thursdays. I get the game and I have taken off the morning of school. So we woke up. My mom purposely called me in sick for the morning so we could go get the game. I then come back in the afternoon and don't I smartly put it in my bag, and when I get to school, I slap it down on the desk, and I am a king to them. I'm the first one in the class, and I think the first one in a bunch of classes, to have GTA Vice City, and I'm there. This is my copy. I'm pulling the map out. I'm showing them, I can't wait to see what this is. I'm a god for one day. One day. I felt so cool being that kid, and it doesn't happen that often, so I got to enjoy it. And then I went home and I put it in, and I just found one of my new favorite games. A game that I would probably put months of time into. And not even just playing the game, but just enjoying it. The 80s style of that game just makes it one of, if not my favorite. No, you know what? I will say it is my favorite Grand Theft Auto game. Not just the play style. Not just the location, but also people had seen how big GTA 3 had become. And now that they're doing something like GTA Vice City, you can get a little more of the celebrities into it. So in this game, we had a couple celebrities in GTA 3, but now with Vice City, we've got a lot more. And specifically, we've got people like Burt Reynolds. We've got people like Ray Liotta being Tommy Vercetti, your lead protagonist. And then you had little ones that come in later. And as a kid who, I'm a teenager at this point, when I see this girl on the cover, this cartoon character who is very voluptuous, and I see a name called Jenna Jameson on it, and I'm smart enough to know what that name means, I'm even enjoying this game a little more. But yeah, I absolutely think this is the best GTA in my opinion. And I completely understand why people like the next one, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But personally, growing up as a fan of 80s music, loving movies like Scarface, like watching TV shows like Miami Vice and stuff like that, this was the pinnacle of me. And the reason it was so good is because it felt like they dropped you into the 80s. Like, the way that Rockstar is able to just take an entire world and drop you into it perfectly and build that world to make it feel like you are stepping into a time machine is just, it is incredible work by them, because they could easily make it feel kind of more modern and kind of change things up a little bit. It's almost like a parody of the 80s. No, they do such a good job in this. And similar to what I said earlier, I really want to talk right now about music in gaming, because it is something that I think is, the fans understand it, but I don't think the artists and the labels and stuff understand it as much, because they see the money. They see, well, you're going to use our song in your video game, we need to be paid X amount of dollars, because they feel that is the only way they're getting compensated. So if I make, Metallica Enter Sandman and somebody puts it into a game, the only way as a record label I feel like I'm getting anything out of this is to be paid for them to use that song. I totally disagree with that. Now, should they be compensated? I agree. However, I do feel like there are things that they're missing. And specifically, I found so many good bands in this that I didn't know about. I knew 80s music, but I didn't know a ton of 80s music because I was still a teenager. But going through these radio stations and listening, just driving around and listening to the different songs on there, made me fans of these songs even today. And there are artists in this game that have made me a lifelong fan because I have these moments of playing Grand Theft Auto and being able to listen to these songs. You had Flash FM, which had like Wang Chung Dance Hall Days, Laura Branigan, Self Control, yes, Owner of a Lonely Heart. V-Rock had Cult, She Sells Sanctuary. Tesla Coming at You Live, David Lee Roth, Yankee Rose, Motion 98.3, Mr. Mister's Broken Wings, Wave 103 with Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Two Tribes, Nina 99 Love Balloons, and Emotion Obsession. Like, these are all songs that I kind of knew, but I fell in love with because of this game, because I have vivid memories of driving down the streets of Vice City listening to these and having moments like that. And I feel like, again, that's something that doesn't get appreciated, doesn't get talked about as much in the music industry, because they just care about making that money because the bands are being used on the video games. And I get that, but I think they're missing out on taking that memory and using it later, getting a moment later and having a lifelong fan possibly because of the video games. That's my thought. But yeah, the cameos, the mission selection, having, like I talked about earlier, having mentions of, Scarface, having a buddy in your team for most of the game, and the betrayal. I mean, the end sequence in Vice City is straight up the ending of Scarface, which I'm perfectly fine with. I think now if you ripped off a movie like that, I think a lot of people would have a problem with it. But personally, I thought it was great because it's a fun scene and I don't bite it at the end like in Scarface. But yeah, the Vice City to me is the game that just went, okay, you have my heartstrings, you are good. I replayed it again on the HD collection, whatever it was called, that came out a few years ago. I'm not going to blame the game for that because that collection is absolutely horrible. Even with the updates, I still hate playing it because it just feels different. But it was still fun to drive around and enjoy the music and the atmosphere of Vice City, even just for a little bit, because I only got to play it a little bit before I started to get really tired and frustrated. And after the hype of Vice City, people understood what this series was and how big it was going to be, or was at that point. And then Rockstar decided it is time to take everybody into the 90s and take them into the world of hip hop and rap culture and take you down to San Andreas. Now, this was another one where I knew what happened with Vice City. I knew I had to be there first day, and the exact same thing happened. I pre-ordered it, and my mom and I went, and I lined up because there was a giant line, and we picked it up. I did the same thing I did the year before, except I wasn't the only one at school this year that had it. I got home. I was so excited. I put it in the PlayStation, and I hated it. I hated San Andreas when I first played it because I loved Vice City so much. And I knew the culture was different. I knew we were going into, the hip hop culture and the rap culture, which I didn't hate because I loved 80s hip hop. I still listen to 90s hip hop and 90s rap, but it was just not my lifeblood of 80s metal and 80s rock. And it definitely took some time to get used to. I clearly remember putting in San Andreas, playing like 5 minutes of it, turning it off, and going upstairs. My mom's like, I thought you'd be there all night. And I'm like, I'll play it later. So it was kind of a shock. But I did end up appreciating it later. I did get into it. It is probably my second favorite. And it's probably, I think, most people's first favorite. Their big one was San Andreas back in the day. I remember everybody playing San Andreas. This was the one where you were the outcast if you went to school and did not talk about how much you loved San Andreas. This one I appreciate a lot more because there was a lot more things to do. And I think that's something that Rockstar really does well. But we'll get to it when we talk about 6. I think we're getting a little too far. We'll get into that in a second. But I do appreciate that there was a little more things to do in this. You had your girlfriends, you had custom cars, the eating meter was really interesting. That was something I was a little worried about, that you had to eat, and if you ate too much, you gained too much weight, that slowed you down, and you had to get better at certain things, get better at fighting styles and swimming and stuff like that. That was, again, something I was a little worried about, but once I got into it, I was like, okay, this isn't much of a crutch. This isn't something that's going to hamper the video game. I appreciated the scope of this one. You went from GTA Vice City, where it was pretty much 2 long islands, into like an entire circle world of San Andreas, where you went up to different areas. Some felt like Vegas, some felt like, San Francisco, some people felt like they were in, Hollywood and stuff like that, which was, again, a lot different than Vice City. Vice City, you kind of always felt like you were in Miami. And this was when kind of the Mortal Kombat thing came in, when it becomes so popular, parents find out about it, and parents become not happy about it. Mine was fine with it, but I remember a bunch of kids losing their privileges to play this game because many different things came out about this game. If you were familiar with San Andreas, you are well aware of the hot coffee mod, which was something of an urban legend back in the day. I did have somebody who had a Game Shark, and I did put the Game Shark in, and I did finally see what this was, because again, the internet was not a thing back then. It's not as bad as everyone claimed it to be. Like, as with most things that aren't provable, the descriptions of these things are usually 1,000 times worse than they are. Like, this was supposed to be like, you saw everything and all, this is like an X-rated game now. No, it's not. It's a bunch of polygons. That's all it really is. But that's when the controversy happened. And of course, this is when the media kicks in and starts saying, as they do every few years when it comes to video games cause violence and kids should not be playing this, which I always laugh at that statement, probably because I've heard it with so many different things over the years. And I love that we're in a generation now where we have things like the internet and we have documentation online where we can easily get to it and see historical facts, like this argument of video games cause violence, because before that it was movies cause violence, and before that it was music cause violence, and before that it was newspapers cause violence, and then comics cause violence. Every generation goes through it, and ours was video games. And I'm sorry, if the topic of the violence changes every generation, your argument's dead at that point. I'm sorry. No, this is, I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, talk to your kids, have a discussion with them, explain to them, treat them as a child, and explain to them, this is why you're not able to play this game at a certain age. This is why you are able to play at a certain age. My mom knew that I was mature enough to understand that, hey, if I go around and do these things in the video game, I'm not going to go do these things when I'm not in the video game. Grew up with Wile E. Coyote cartoons, and I was well aware if I drop a giant anvil on my head, I'm not going to accordion out the room. It's probably going to hurt me severely. So, yeah, it's an argument that I clearly remember. I think we even had an assembly about it because it had become such a big thing in the school that they just wanted to remind us, like, that's a video game and those things shouldn't happen here. No, come on. But yeah, everyone loves San Andreas. And again, going back to the soundtrack, this is another one that I think a lot of people absolutely fell in love with the soundtrack. I personally, like I said, love GTA Vice City a lot more, but there is a lot of people that fall in love with the San Andreas soundtrack. I've actually gone back recently and listened to a bunch of the songs. I can't remember the radio station that was in San Andreas, that was the rock station, but I don't think it was V-Rock, but that was pretty much the one I listened to continuously, and now I'm listening to the other stations. And I'm enjoying the eclectic sounds of each station and kind of understanding, oh, okay, this would have been fun to listen to in these time periods. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one. And then after that, we kind of did what Guitar Hero did. And instead of just making another numbered game, so you had your 3, you had your Vice City, you had your, which I count as 4 and 5 kind of, but numbered not. We then had Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories, which I believe were the PSP games that they then transposed into a PlayStation 2 discs so PS2 owners can play it. I have both of them. I did not like either one of them. It really felt rushed. Like, it really felt like they had a world built and they just kind of went, okay, let's kind of figure out some missions to do. And that's just not really something I wanted to play. I wanted to enjoy the story a little more, and just didn't seem like those stories stuck to me. I remember specifically Vice City Stories because I was excited to go back to Vice City. It was some of those missions were so frustratingly hard that I just gave up playing them. And I felt the same when I played Somebody had I think it was the Advance, the Game Boy Advance, or one of those, the GTA ports for Chinatown Wars. Same thing, where it just felt so overly hard. They really didn't need to be, and I just didn't end up playing them. But after a long wait, we ended up getting GTA 4. Now, this is the one that a lot of people loved, and I don't mind it. I think this one has a lot of memories because it's probably one of the first modern gamer games, because like the PS2 generation, I feel like that's the break in this gaming generation. I know every console kind of has their life, but I feel like PS2 is sort of the end of that Nintendo to PS2. Now we have PS3 forward to now PS5. That's sort of its own era, in my opinion, because I feel like I've talked to a bunch of gamers who didn't have a PS2, but they had a PS3. And this was another one. We didn't have the finances to get a PS3, so I was still playing a lot of my PS2 games. And we went to, actually it was a friend of my mom's who is they're a giant gaming household. And they pulled out their PS3 and they showed me GTA 4, and it was the graphical upgrade from PS2 to PS3 is like you just couldn't understand it at that point. It really felt similar to when I saw the N64 for the first time, after just going, okay, well, this is what 2D looks like. It's all flat. And then seeing everything in 3-dimensional was just like, this doesn't compute. And GTA 4 felt the exact same. It looked like New York. Like, you look like you were running around New York. And looking at it now, it doesn't look anything like it. But Liberty City in GTA 3 felt close, but this felt like you're a guy in New York City, and that was just mind-blowing for a kid. So I ended up saving up my money, and I ended up getting a PS3. And very similar to do my showing off of Vice City and San Andreas, I had ended up I was actually working at that point, and I ended up going to EB, getting the system, getting the game, and then going to work. And when I got to work, I was like, oh my God, I got GTA 4. This is so cool. And they didn't care. No one cared at that point, because I don't even think they were gamers, but I was like, aren't I cool? And no one gave a crap. But this was a very different game than San Andreas was. Like, the graphical upgrade, the hardware upgrade was just so much better. And I feel like if you're a game historian and someone who's played for many generations, you might notice the trend of, and this is something I think really focuses, you can really see it in your sports games. So if you're a big WWE 2K fan, if you're a big Madden fan, if you play a series through the entire console generation, so you started the first game and work your way up to the final game, and then the next game comes out on the next generation. If you look at the graphics and you look at the gameplay and all the different modes and stuff, it's usually a big step back. And I don't know if it's because the hardware is so new and they're not able to sort of fine tune it like they do after a few generations, but I really noticed that. And this was one where that didn't happen. Like, it didn't feel like we lost out on anything when we got GTA 4. We just went even further, and there was way more stuff to do. The physics were amazing. If you ever go look at the different compilations of people showing like the hit detection, showing the even simple things like a car reversing and going up on a curb, even GTA 5, the tire kind of rolls into the curb. GTA 4 goes right up on the curb. Little things like that, falling from a helicopter or falling from the sky and hitting the propeller blades. Like, some games, they'll do that and they'll go right through the propeller blades. This one, as soon as you touch it, you're gone. Stuff like that was the level of detail they put into this was amazing. The only problem with the game was the story. And while I like Nico as a protagonist, it just felt kind of mad. There was nobody really, except for Nico, there wasn't many people in the game that I was interested in, that I found appealing, that I wanted to learn about. Roland wanting to go bloody bowling every other 5 seconds when he's calling you got real annoying real quick, and I think everyone agrees with that. Yeah, it just wasn't as fun for me. It felt the atmosphere was very, and because that's what the atmosphere is, was very rainy New York City. And that's fun, but it's also kind of sad and kind of depressing after a while. However, when we got into the DLCs with the episodes of Liberty City, so the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost and the Damned, that's when I started to really enjoy episode 4 of GTA 4. So you had Gay Tony, which was pretty fun. You're part of a nightclub, and there's a lot of that New York underground lifestyle, which I thought was a nice improvement because the GTA 4 series with Nico was very New York, kind of going that New York mafia, down on the docks and stuff like that. Kind of fun, but kind of meh. But going into like the nightlife of New York City, I thought was really cool. And then what I really enjoyed was the Lost and the Damned, which was the biker DLC. Getting into a biker bar, getting into their gang, kind of going up the ranks of the gang, riding your motorcycle everywhere, which was something I thought was very interesting because there are several missions in that game where you have to ride your motorcycle and you have to ride in formation of the gang, which is something very limiting to something that GTA has done so well, which is the freedom of driving wherever you feel like and driving whatever you feel like. So I thought that was an interesting concept and something that I thought might hinder the game, but actually kind of enjoyed it. And then the fun begins. So this is a fun story. I love telling, especially because I don't work for the company anymore. GTA 5. So this was, what 6 is now. Cut it almost the hype for GTA 6 now, cut it in half, and that's kind of what GTA 5 was. Everyone was real excited of what they were going to do with this next game. And I was super excited. I was really anticipating what they were going to do, especially when we found out there's going to be 3 protagonists. You're going to be able to interchange between each one. There's going to be heist missions and stuff. All right, I am interested. Now, at the time, I am at Toys R Us. I'm working at Toys R Us. And if you know Toys R Us, not today, but if you knew them back then, we had a video game section. And I was like, cool. I work for a store that sells video games. I'll use my employee discount. I can get my copy cheaper. I can make sure when we get it, I can put one aside for myself. I don't have to fight with anything. Golden. Love it. The day arrives. GTA 5 drops. We don't have it. We didn't get the shipment. And I went, okay. I'm not a child at this point. I'm an adult. I can wait. That's no big deal. I can wait. Went in the next day. We didn't have it. Went in the next day. We didn't have it. Toys R Us didn't get their shipment for a week. We lost out on so many sales of that game. I was almost peeing myself laughing so hard at management because they did not understand how important that was. I'm like, guys, this is a big deal right now, but none of them are gamers. So no one's like, oh man, I'm the only one in the store that's a hardcore gamer at this point. That's like, I need my copy of GTA 5. Everyone's just kind of like, oh, okay, well, we don't have it. I'm like, guys, I, as an employee, am going next door to Walmart and giving them the money because we don't have it. That was when they kind of were like, oh, you're not going to wait. Yeah. If we don't have it, they're going to go somewhere else. So, yeah, it is one of those moments working there that just made me thump my head against the wall. Like, I'm not saying, go buy somewhere else and try and resell, but like, find out what the answer is why we don't have it. Well, whatever. So I got my copy. I got home. I threw it in, and it was pretty good. Like, I don't know if I'm changing my gaming behavior, but GTA 5 felt big, and that's good. I'm glad I had a lot more to do. I was very happy with the 3 protagonists. I think that was a lot of fun. Jumping in between each person, getting different personalities, understanding different mission types, and doing different things like in the heist. If you're a hardcore GTA fan, you know that if you pick certain people for the heist and certain people aren't on your team, you know that will change the outcome, but it'll also change the dialogue choices, which I think is that's a really cool little Easter egg that you might not notice. Stuff like that I really did enjoy. However, similar to what I was talking about earlier, I feel like we were getting to the point of having too much to do. We had way too many things to do, and there were things I just didn't want to do. I think there's a mission in the game where I had to play like 6 holes of golf, and I'm like, I just don't want to play golf. I don't want to do that. There were definitely some missions in the game because we have 3 protagonists. You have to have 3 different types of missions, 3 different types of, 3 different styles of missions, and it just got a little, The voice acting was fun, the characters were fun, but I feel like this was the moment where I was kind of going, it's just not the game for me, or am I outgrowing this series? And then I booted up what everybody was talking about, because GTA 5 had its fan base, but then we got GTA Online on top of that. And this was the one that everybody I talked to was, you gotta play GTA Online. You gotta play it, like going on heist missions with everybody, doing races with your buddies, meeting new people, buying mansions, and kind of just being like such a fun game. You can do all these things. I hated GTA Online. GTA Online to me is the most boring way to play, because I just did not like... I'm not a fan of online gaming, personally. There are some that I will play. Most of it I don't like, especially stuff like that. I used to play Call of Duty all the time, but I just got to the point where every night I was just dealing with kids yelling and screaming and swearing. And that's what GTA felt like to me. You always had the random idiot in your lobby who just wanted to blow things up. There was continuous lobby issues when it first came out, so there's always login problems. I had a few friends that I would jump on every now and then just because that's what they wanted to play. But personally, it wasn't for me. It was not the series that I was excited for. And if you're a GTA fan and you were excited about that, you have to wait if you don't like online, because you have nothing to play now for 3 console generations. I want to remind everybody that GTA 5 originally came out for the PS3 and then the PS4, and now it's out for PS5 while we're just about to get GTA 6. And by the way, folks, if anyone has any wonder of why they took so long to make GTA 6, GTA Online and the microtransactions is the exact reason. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that is why they did not push to make a 6, because GTA 6, depending on how the online goes, is going to be, $100, let's say, per game, which 1 billion people are going to buy it. But after that, I don't know how the online's going to go. Hopefully it'll work, but there's been AAA games that have come out that servers have done terrible. I don't know. So now we are weeks, months away from GTA 6, and this is kind of a crossroads for me in the series, because I was not a big fan of GTA 5. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this game. I do not think this will be one that I'm going to be getting there day one, pre-ordering it. I've made the joke over the past little while that there is a little part of me that worries that this game is going to do Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy. And if you're not a music fan, Guns N' Roses made their Use Your Illusion double album. They released it around 1993. And then they were going to do a follow-up album called Chinese Democracy. And due to infighting in the band and lineup changes and stuff, Chinese Democracy didn't come out until like 2008, 2009, I think it was. And everyone was so excited because there had been so much. It's been over a decade since this CD was supposed to come out, and it finally came out, and everyone hated it because it was 10 years to make an album. And I'm worried that GTA 6 is going to have that same problem because multiple reasons. One, it's been so long. So the culture has changed multiple times since GTA 5 came out. The platform has changed multiple times since GTA came out. Rockstar, I don't believe, has released a game on this platform yet on PS5. One of the things that does worry me, and I think it's a fair worry, is how many people are going to jump on this game at the same time. Like, you can pre-order as much as you want, you can load early as much as you want, but you're going to have a good section of the population, and I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say there are a lot of people who are going to take that day off because they want to play GTA. And I get it, but being a developer, being a studio, I would be very worried about everybody jumping on at the same time because can your servers handle it? And we've seen in the past with other AAA games that may have a good rapport with their fandom and have some hardcore fans. If those servers are shit for the first few weeks, you're going to have a lot of people not giving it a second chance. They'll just jump. I hope that doesn't happen, but it's a valid concern, I think. I am a little excited that we're going to go back to Vice City because, as I've said on this episode, I'm a big fan of that, but it is not 80s Vice City. It is modern Vice City. So having the double protagonist, it seems like, having a male and female, seems like it'll be interesting. It looks like it's a boyfriend-girlfriend type thing, almost a Romeo and Juliet type atmosphere. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I'm not going to probably get it on pre-order. I'm going to wait for it to come out. Pretty Nerd Crystal said, but I guess it can change to Fallout 5 with a button. The joke, I can't believe we got it before Fallout 5. Yeah, we're going to have to change up the memes to something else because it will have to be Fallout 5. Again, I'm interested. I think it'll do well, obviously. It's going to make $1 zillion on opening day because everyone's going to buy it and everyone's going to play it. But I just don't know how well it will do long term. And it does make me think, like, if they do well and the online does well, how long till we get another GTA? It's going to be a while, personally. I think it's going to be, like, if GTA 6 comes out 2026, and it does well, we won't get another GTA till 2036. Can almost guarantee it, if not longer. I would say 2036. They'll wait a decade before they put out another game. They won't need to. They'll be just racking. They'll just be digging through the money that gets thrown at them. But hey, if they do, they pulled it off, and good for them. I think that's it. I love this series. I've always loved this series, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go, even though I'm not as hardcore of a fan as I used to be. The Rockstar guys seem to be super, super great studio. They seem to be, I've heard a little bit of rumblings about, a little bit of overtime right now, but when you're debuting probably what will probably be the biggest game release of all time, I kind of understand that you're going to be doing a little overtime. Maybe that's just me. I appreciate you guys tuning in. It means a lot to me. As I've said, this is 150 episodes of doing this podcast, of me just kind of jumping on every Monday night at 7 p.m. and kind of talking about what I feel like talking about. And I know we kind of jump topics every single week. Some weeks we talk about music. We talk about cosplay. Sometimes we talk about video games, like tonight. It means a lot that you guys want to stick around here because I know that the algorithms, and I know a lot of people would love me to just stick with a single topic, like, talk about cosplay, talk about this, talk about that. But I like talking about different things. Some days I want to talk about video games. Some days I want to talk about cosplay and a whole lot more. Alex, see you Friday. You will not see me Friday. I guess you're thinking that's Nickel City in Buffalo. I will not be at Nickel City this week. Nope, I will be at home. I'm an adult. I have IKEA furniture showing up on Friday. No, I will not be in Buffalo. However, I've heard they have a very good lineup down there. So if you're in the Buffalo or Niagara Falls area, go check out their website, Nickel City Comic Con. They look like they have a damn stacked lineup. Next week we are sorry, man. Next week, I think we're going to go back and talk about cosplay. I kind of want to talk about cosplay and confidence and how my confidence in doing cosplay and being in that type of world has really made me a better person and a more confident person overall. So we're going to talk about cosplay next week. So I hope you guys tune in for that. And hopefully now that we've had a couple, I would say a month and a half on this platform, and we've had a good solid stream every week, I'm going to try and bring on a guest every now and then. I was kind of hoping to get some people in from YetiCon before the con started, but we just kind of got busy with Comic Cons and stuff. But now we got nothing but smooth sailing until we get to Fan Expo Canada at the end of August. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a guest on here in the next couple weeks. But I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a great night. If you want to follow me, you can hit up Instagram. You can hit up TikTok. If you're a wrestling fan specifically, you can hit up Myers Corp Wrestling on TikTok. Every single day we have, I try and go on there during the week and talk about something in history of wrestling that's happening. If you're a wrestling fan, this is the week to follow because we have a whole bunch coming up over the next few days of the history of WWE. And then on the weekends, we talk about times where I've interacted with WWE superstars. We have YouTube on here. You should subscribe because we got a whole bunch of cosplay content coming up, including a short, I think every single day up until October right now. We have a weekly video as well as a long form video. And I think that's about it. So Myers Corp Cosplay on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Monday Night Nerd on YouTube, and Myers Corp Wrestling on TikTok as well. I'll let you guys get out of here. Have yourselves a great night, and we will see you very, very soon. Possibly online doing some cosplay stuff. Take care. We'll see you guys soon. Love you. Thanks so much for watching Monday Night Nerd. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you